The comic book phenomenon. A multi-billion-dollar industry and a pop culture revolution that has taken the world by storm year after year and decade after decade. But none of this would have been possible had it not been for the creation of one superhero. A singular icon who was faster than a speeding bullet, who was more powerful than a locomotive, and who could leap tall buildings in a single bound. This is the definitive Superman. While the Superman that we know today with the red cape and the blue uniform didn't appear until Action Comics issue number 1 in 1938, the origins of Superman can be traced back to his creation at the hands of Joe Shuster in 1933 as a telepathic villain bent on world domination. During this same year, Joe Shuster would introduce his creation to fellow classmate Jerry Siegel, who would go on to publish this villain in his own publication series titled The Advance Guard of Future Civilization with issue number 3. But the following year, as the two worked together, Jerry Siegel would revamp the character going through a series of drafts, which would ultimately lead to Superman's role as a superhero and his publication with Action Comics issue number 1.
And to fill you in a little on the beginning of it all, one night, as has been mentioned in the past stories, ideas kept coming to me, and I kept getting up again and again during the night and just jotting down these ideas and these scripts until very early the next morning I dashed over to Joe's house, which is about 10 blocks away. I showed him the script of Superman, the entirely new concept in which there would be a meek, mild-mannered reporter, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, who scorned him, but who flipped over Superman, not knowing that Superman and Clark Kent were one and the same person. Now, you want to stay? You want to stay with your reaction?
Well, I was very excited about the whole idea. I just took on the same enthusiasm. I thought it was a terrific idea, and we went right to work. Right then and there.
You sat down at the drawing board and you began designing the way the characters would look.
Yeah, we spent the entire day working on it, all afternoon, and we at the drawing board, Jerry and I. And
now I remember that the matter of the costuming of Superman came up, and I remember two suggestions I made to you. One, that the letter S be on his chest.
Right,
I
wanted to give him a skin-tight costume to show up his physique, for one thing, and then Jerry suggested putting on a cape,
so that when the character zoomed through the air, would give more action and movement to the character.
Make it look like he's really flying, and very
And of course, you added all those additional things like the boots and the belt and the and the whatever.
I wanted to make it as simple as possible.
With their newest creation in hand, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster spent the next 4 years trying to find a publisher, trying to find someone that would take on this new character, this Superman, and bring him to the mainstream. Now during this time, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster would introduce Superman to Consolidated Publishing, and the hope here was that Consolidated Publishing, which had previously released a series titled Detective Dan, Secret Operative number 48, would in turn pave the way for the comic book industry and by extension, allow Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster to publish Superman. But Consolidated Publishing had only published one story of Detective Dan and had no intention with moving forward with the series. And so while they had sent an encouraging letter to Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster praising their work, Joe Shuster had taken this rejection to heart and had burned all of the pages of Superman with the exception of the cover, which was saved by Jerry Siegel.